So I'm here with the
Awesome.
award-winning singer, songwriter, performer, vocalist, pianist, and playwright, Miss Angel Monét. Miss Monét, please give us a brief background about your humble beginnings.
Oh, sure. Okay. But first, before I start, I just want to thank you for just having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
okay. Well, my humble beginnings began at a very early age. I was probably about 3 or 4, believe it or not, when my parents and family members noticed that I had this special gift of playing the piano. I would hear little songs on the radio. This is what they say. And I would go and pick them out, pick out the melody and
Mhm.
start playing. And during that time, I think Lean on Me was, you know, the happening song at the time. We're going way back now,
Right.
you know, the original. And I used to play that song, da 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 da, and so they finally signed me up for some piano lessons at about the age of, I think, 8 years old, because all I wanted to do was play that piano. And I began to do talent shows, and of course, I was taking lessons. And I knew at an early age that all I wanted to do was music. I
Mhm.
didn't know what form I would be doing, if it would be teaching it, performing it, whatever. I just knew I wanted to do music. So I began with shows, talent shows, and I was in a band at I think I was 14 or 15. It was an inspirational gospel band, and we traveled all over the country and opened up for a traditional gospel group by the name of Maggie Ingram and the Ingramettes. Anybody from Richmond, Virginia would know who I'm talking about. And, then I had aspirations of going to college to major in music. And so I ended up at Berklee College of Music. I got accepted, and um, from there, I got my degree in music. And then I began to write more. Well, I was writing before then, but I was actually able to produce. After I graduated, I was doing more producing and writing songs. And then I had this passion for children's music because there wasn't much out there that had, that was had the rhythms of soca, calypso, reggae. Um, Basically my library of what I was hearing was mostly folk, and I love folk music too. But being that I was living in Boston, and I was in the city, the kids from the urban area, I wanted to bring music to them that was, you know, fitting as far as where they were from. It was a very diverse group of kids. So I started mixing my music and um, wrote a musical called Jack's World, family children's musical, and soundtrack for that. And that's pretty much, my beginnings to, I would say, now. you know, a lot of
Right.
other things happen along the way, but yeah,
It's
that's
an
how I.
explosive beginning. Explosive, okay?
Mhm.
So, who inspired you the most as a creative while, along this journey of discovery of playing piano, writing music, and singing?
Okay. Well, it wasn't too many female producers, in that I knew of, I would say in the 70s and 80s.
Hmm.
And I really took a liking to Patrice Rushen.
I remember her.
Um, yeah. And, for me growing up in the, I'd say, late 70s, 80s, um, just seeing her doing her thing on stage, directing this group, that group, playing jazz, R&B, that really inspired me a lot, you know,
Hmm.
and knowing that she was producing music and whatnot. So I would say she inspired me as a pianist too. And also Oscar Peterson, he's more on the jazz side of things. Um, I really took a liking to his style of playing, a percussive type of playing he does. And I just, fell in love with him as well. So that's
Well,
it.
you have so many achievements. Like you said, attending Berkeley. Nobody gets in Berkeley just like that. You had to be like uber talented to get into Berkeley. And then you're teaching there in addition to the open door of Massachusetts. Tell us about that. And what else do you have going on?
Well, I'll talk about those two things first, and then I'll tell you what I have going on that's coming up. But Berklee College of Music, yes, I graduated from there, and I'm actually working for their city music program, Berklee City Music. And I came to Berklee with a program called 5 Weeks because I really wasn't sure if that's where I wanted to go. I didn't know a lot about Berklee when I was in high school, but when I heard Quincy Jones went to Berklee, or, and some of the other greats, Chick Corea, all these famous people, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Berklee. I got to get in,
Right, right.
And so I attended a 5-week program, and they have it every summer. And it's kids from all over the world that come to this program for 5 weeks. And it was such an eye opener. I fell in love with the program. I was meeting, musicians from all parts of the world. And I just felt like I was at home being amongst other people like me, weird people,
Right.
And so this program that I'm teaching for Berklee is one of the programs that they have. They have the 5-week program, and we have Arts Link, which is faculty outreach, where we go into BPS, Boston Public Schools, and we collaborate with the music teachers. And we do programs for them if they need a chorus or whatever they need help with. And we also scout talent of kids that can get into the 5-week program or the high school academy program or the prep. We start from ages, I think that would be 9 years old, 4th grade to 12th grade. And some of these kids can receive scholarships, a full ride to the school. They have to audition for these programs. My kids actually went to both of those programs, and they did very well. This is before I was teaching for Berklee. And they actually got 2 full scholarships. I mean, it was like winning a lottery, So everybody's a musician in this house,
Look at it. They got it from mama.
And actually their dad's from there too. I met their dad at Berklee.
Okay. So there is hope for me yet.
So we all graduated from Berklee College of Music. I mean, it was amazing when the last one graduated. I was like, oh my God, whoever thought,
Right.
But yeah, so I teach for Berklee City Music and also Open Door Arts. And that's another program where I actually go into BPS once again, and I'm actually the music teacher. These are schools that maybe couldn't afford to put music in the budget, unfortunately.
Right.
The arts is always the first to go.
Right.
And so this program allows them to still have a music teacher. And that way they don't have to put the whole thing in the budget because the program kind of pays for us, as teaching artists. So I do that, and it's been very rewarding because I get to really connect with the students, from young students, the kindergartners all the way to seniors. And it lets me really know what's going on with some of them,
right.
How I can help them through my art, through my music, And that brings me to the song that is coming out tomorrow, the release. The song is called Hold On. And this song is really written for everybody, but with the emphasis on the youth, because it's so much mental, I'd say, illnesses going on today, Mental health is so important. And this song is something to uplift each and every person, really, but it's saying, hold on to your dreams. Don't give up,
Everybody's talking about how the world can be so mean. And if you ever reach your dreams.
Right. Okay. Now, I have a unique question for you.
Sure.
But before I get to that, I want to talk about Jack's World on YouTube. Tell us about that musical and the need for that and the advocacy that came about from that made you want to start these curriculums.
Oh, sure. Yes. Well, after graduating from Berklee, I was like, okay, I want to be doing something in music, but I want to make sure that it's something that I can design a program that's needed in this city. And so, I wrote this, I wrote about, I don't know, 6 or 7 songs. And I was really going to use them to just, do a children's album. But then I started the children's music program, and I needed to raise funds for instruments. And, I just had passion. My passion was to really instill self-esteem in a lot of the kids. Some of them were a little shy, or when it came to, do you feel like you're somebody special? Because you are. And some will respond, yeah, and some will respond, no, I'm really not that special. I don't feel like I'm special, So, I said, I'm going to do a musical that's going to hopefully bring some happiness to these kids. Let them know that they are important. And so I began to write a musical around the songs that I had already produced. And I named it Jack's World, a boy that was looking for love from his family. They were 2 parents working like most people, and but the thing is, they did not have time for Jack. Mom was a nurse, dad owned his own business, and they were just busy, and they had 4 kids. And so Jack ended up feeling like no one cared about him but grandma and grandpa. So he decided he was gonna, go to their house, just pack up his clothes and leave, because no one was paying him any attention, and he wasn't getting help with the homework when he wanted it. And he got lost. And unfortunately, the family went through a crisis where they were hysterical. They were like, where is my baby? Mom's crying and carrying on, and everybody's just all, going crazy. And they decided to practice faith and hope. And, of course, the police was looking for Jack. And he didn't make it to grandma and grandpa's house because he got lost. And so once the police found him, they were so happy. The family came together. They understood how it was important to pay attention to him. And mom let him know how important he was, as well as dad. And so that prayer that they had came true. Jack came home safe, and his self-esteem was lifted. He just felt like he had so much love. And this musical was really developed so that families could pay attention more to their children, that they could be aware of what's going on in your child's life.
Right.
And so this musical was mainly seen by the schools within Boston and Greater Boston. So it was like a field trip. I did it for over 10 years, and they would look forward to coming to this place. Some of them had never been to a play before, We had dance, we had singing, and the kids auditioned to be in the play. I had a whole staff of other creative artists that came together for this wonderful cause. And, I had some policemen that had a kid that was in it, and he would tell me, this is a great show. You just have no idea how this show is helping my I think it was his nephew, that he was the guardian of his nephew. And he said it was really helping them. And then he was saying, it was so many kids that really do run away from home like Jack. You don't hear about it on the news. And he said, to keep doing what you're doing, because this show is really making a difference. And I was like, wow, when you're doing the hard work, you don't always think about what you're really doing that's so good. You just do it. The impact. So that kept me, the impact, that kept me going. So that's what Jack's World was about, and I'm trying to bring it back. I have so many kids that were in this production that are grown now with their own kids. And they're asking me, they're, contacting me on Facebook and Instagram, hey, Miss Monét, I found you, because some of them are living, in other parts of the country. And they're saying, are you going to do the show again? I would love for my child, my little girl, whoever, to really experience the music and, what we experienced. So that's my gift right there, just knowing that it impacted the kids. So that's Jack's World. I'm sorry I'm rambling so much.
No. I asked a question.
Move to the right and left, and we're gonna clap our hands. Are you ready? All right. Come on. Do the twist. Come on, do the twist. All right. Do the twist. Show me emotion. Do the twist.
So So now here's the unique question.
Mhm.
You know, you did Miss Angel Monét holiday special as well. Like you have
Yes, yes.
quite a few things going on,
Mhm.
television specials or, you know,
Mhm.
YouTube specials.
Mhm.
Now, which late 80s show would have been perfect to display your endowments as a composer? The Cosby Show, A Different World, or Family Matters?
I would say, well, I love the Cosby Show.
Right,
It has a lot of important lessons. Not saying the other ones didn't,
right,
but that show, yeah, I used to, be happy when the Cosby Show came on.
right.
Make sure I put that in my little schedule.
The
You
Cosby
know.
Show was the best, okay?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
now you've tapped into larger audiences with your Init Productions and HOI network. You
Hmm.
have a busy slate already. So why was it important to tap into another group?
Another group, meaning,
Groove like
oh,
another.
groove. Oh, I see. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm being the inspirational person that I am and the musician that I am. I was really tired of hearing some of the content and the music that we have today.
Mhm.
And as a mother, um, you know, I had to screen the songs,
Oh wow. Mhm.
because, a lot of the songs that were out, I'm speaking when my kids grew up in the, I'd say, late 90s, 2000,
Mhm.
um, it was just, the content was a lot of swearing, just a lot of degrading of women. And, you know, we're coming out of the era with just lyrics that weren't really designed for kids.
Right.
Everything had a parental discretion on it or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, I think it's time for me to step up and create an internet radio station that can have positive music. That's my gift to the world, is to spread inspiration however I can, not just to the children, because some of these parents, they need some inspiration too.
Got that right.
It's hard out here. You're fighting this, you're fighting that. It's all kind of negative stuff going on. And I also started a teen band, 2007. Yeah. And these were kids that some of my piano students that I saw, from a great gift in them. They could play, they had good ears. It kind of reminded me of myself trying to fool the teacher and play something by ear when I know I wasn't sight reading no notes.
Right.
To try to get away like that. I was like, okay, I know that game. But anyway, I put these kids together, and I wanted to bring old school back, because a lot of the music was more sampling, more beats. And I mean, I like that too. But I
Right.
really wanted to bring these kids, up with being able to play an instrument, dance with it, sing with it, like when I grew up, Earth, Wind and Fire, and all those bands, Parliament, you know,
Right. The funk.
the fun. I want to bring that back in a positive way.
Right.
So that's kind of where I went with changing my groove up a little bit. I was kind of burned out with Jack's World,
Mm.
because putting on a stage play production for so many years and trying to raise that money to make it happen, dealing
Mhm.
with so many families and parents. And I mean, it was a great ride, but it was a lot being the producer and
Right.
director. So I wanted to take a little break. So my next venture was to concentrate on the kids with this band called So Amazing. And I arranged, we did one CD, and they did a tour of Toronto and Canada, different places, and then the US.
Mhm.
And they got grown, ready for college, and I just was tired. I gave them 8 years. It's like, okay, it's time to get
Like,
back to
listen.
Miss Angel Monét. It's time to do me now.
Right. Somebody said, I'm
So,
tired, okay? So then that goes back to hold on,
mhm,
identifying mental health
mhm,
and the positives that can derive from negative situations. So I see that
yeah,
you tapped into different types of instrumentals with that, where you use
mhm,
Caribbean music, you use some
mhm,
soul, you used a little bit of funk.
mhm,
So when you created that single, Did you have help, or did you just sit and say, hey, this is how I want this to go because I need this to be uplifting, but not in a way to where I'm putting God in your face, but it is definitely inspiring.
Yeah. I originally wrote the song for the band So Amazing. As I was writing all their music, I was pretty much doing artist development and nurturing them for performances and whatnot. And I wrote that song as a ballad, you know. And once we cut the CD, you know, did the tour, and like I said, some of them were ready to go to college and they were going to be moving away. And I did not want to audition more kids. And like I said, I was tired. You know?
Right.
So when I decided to do me again, now that my kids are grown and, you know, the band, I did what I could do for them. I wanted to change it up. I wrote the song because when these kids were teens, they were going through some stuff happening in the schools and, you know, just trying to see, you know, who you are as a person, you know, keeping up with everything, you know, trying to get to college, you know, what kids go through. And that's where the inspiration came. Hold on, don't give up. Keep on dreaming till you reach the top. And I had so many adults approach me about the song that they fell in love with it, you know. So I decided to do a remix, change up the genre a little bit, reggae it up because I love reggae, you know, and just kind of put it all in there. And what I'm releasing tomorrow is what we're going to get.
Okay, period. It's very thoughtful. It's very uplifting. I do like that you use God because I'm spiritual and I love inspirational music on top of that. So, you know, as far as that goes, and then it's friendly for college kids or kids that know how to interpret. Okay, I don't have to go through this alone. Like if you get the messaging, go to somebody, go to God if you have to, but keep going, whatever you do. So that's the message that I get from that. So with that, where can we find the song? Is it going to be available on all streaming platforms or where can people download?
It will be on all streaming platforms.
Okay.
So that's what I was told. So I paid for it.
This is what they said, listen, girl, I don't even want to think about it right now. I did the work. Now you do the math, okay?
Yeah. We'll see.
So
yes.
You have other productions as well, right?
Yes. I'm doing shows for kids called the Miss Angel Monét Show.
Yeah. All you have to do is jump, skip. You can bend your knees. I just want to welcome you. I like the bumblebees, They are special today. Oh yeah, they jump.
And I do videos on demand and also virtual shows. And I show up in person too. But I got a little spoiled, you know, through COVID doing the virtual stuff, you know.
Okay.
And have to lug a whole bunch of equipment all over the place, you know, because I have puppets and that COVID, you know, introduced the puppets to me, you know.
Right.
I had a school that's in my children's music program. And when everything shut down, they asked me if I could please continue music. And these are young kids. These were like toddlers on up to K1. And so I'm like, okay, I have them in the palm of my hands when I'm there in person. I can keep them engaged and everybody's excited. They don't want to leave music. But what am I going to do online? You know, like,
where's your audience?
So I hesitantly said yes, I would keep going because they didn't have anything going on. They at home, they with grandma, everybody was online. You know, like this so big of the families. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do to keep the attention of these children?
Right.
So and then they had their sisters and brothers up there too. It was like,
oh Lord.
No, I mean it was full. It was probably like 200 people.
Oh,
so
you had a live audience online.
Yes. Okay. That's what they asked me, if I could keep music going virtually, you know.
Right.
So I was like, oh my God, I got to come up with something. So then I had these puppets, and I always did voices as a kid. I was always a little clown, you know. So I was like, I need to put these little voices to work. So Beautiful was born. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? This is Beautiful. you know?
Right.
And then Boogie was born, my little teddy bear puppet. And he said, "Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm so glad to be here. Hi." You know? So, and I'm sitting here laughing at myself inside, but it worked. I mean, parents were emailing me that they finally got to meet me online, unfortunately, because, you know, they're working during the day when I was there in
Right.
person. And they were like, "Wow, I can see why, you know, Sarah comes home talking about this Miss
Aw.
Monét, you know." So I was like, "Oh, wow." So I started designing classes for them based on my puppets, and I just kept it going until it became something else, you know, like
Right.
they were expecting this every week.
It
And
was,
so
I'm sorry.
that's okay. No, I was just saying that that's kind of how it was born, like that.
I
Yeah.
watched it and I was like, yeah, you definitely have animated voices. Like, that's giving Fraggle Rock. If you remember
Right.
Fraggle Rock or Sesame Street. So
Sesame Street, yeah.
yeah, so you did good. So what, like, since you started it virtually, are you going to keep it going? What is the future for it?
Yeah. I have designed programs. My programs are mainly dealing with social issues and mental health awareness. I'm
Mhm.
not doing like the whole number thing and teaching them how to do ABCs. I've come from a different, you know, kind of a cloth, you know, where I just want to pump self-esteem, the importance of who you are. Because if you don't have that, you can't learn no ABCs and numbers. You need to
Facts.
feel good about yourself. You need that inspiration to keep it moving, you know, to know that you are somebody special when no one is telling you that, you know.
Right.
And that's what I teach kids in these schools. You know, I do this song called "I Am Special." Yes, I am. Put a little beat to it. Yes, and I have them singing this. And then I wrote a song called "I Am Somebody Special." And I just keep pumping that. And when people send me videos of their kids, you know, singing "I am special," no, that's the other one. "I am somebody special." That has a little Caribbean beat to it. And some parents have sent me a video of their kids singing this on the swings or whatever, and they won't seem to be quiet. They just keep singing it. I'm like, yeah, that's what they need in their spirit. That's what they
Right.
need in their minds. If they can just keep that when they're feeling like they're not special, they can think about, yeah, I am somebody special.
Because I'm fun to be around. I have a pretty little smile. I can dance, jump up and down. I am somebody special. Welcome to the Angel Monét Show. This is Cindy. Why don't you say hi to all the boys and girls? Hi, everybody. Hi.
Done so much and you never veered away from that, although you had the singing chops, although you know, you write fairly well, you compose beautiful music. You never, you could have been doing soul and something totally different, but this is where God called you. So do you think this is a spiritual journey?
It is. It's definitely spiritual because I have a passion for people, but especially children. You know, I remember when I was a teenager or even a kid, you know, a preteen, I used to wonder, wow, am I going to ever make it to 18? Because I would see the news. Now, my parents were the type of people, they was going to see the evening news at 6 p.m. And I best get off the piano because they want to hear what's going on. You know? So, because I can remember my dad and my mom said, "Monét, get off the piano. The news is on," you know? And so when I would go and watch it, I was like, oh my God, they were fighting in the Middle East. And, you know, it wasn't even as bad as it is now. Or maybe because, well, it could have been because we didn't have social media then.
Right.
But, but you know, me as a child looking in, I would wonder, am I going to really, you know, accomplish my dreams? Because this don't look good, you know?
Right.
And that's how I felt. So my heart goes out to children that may feel like I did. And I want them to just keep on going because nobody knows when the world's going to end.
That's
just
right.
keep it going. Keep the inspiration going. Try to be the best person you can be, you know. And then I have a song called "Respect Yourself," respect everybody, and that has a kind of a salsa feel to it, Latin, you know. I try to reach all the kids, you know, with wherever they come from. When I see, you know, the different cultures, you know, in the schools, so I write songs for all of them.
Okay. So looking over your career, which moment makes you the proudest?
I would say times that I was in tears, and it was happy tears. When my production of Jackswell, every year we would do this show. And after all the hard work and all the teaching and preaching, trying to get them to be good actors and singers and all that stuff, the development, and to see the end of the show, you know, the week of the show or whatever, see them kids shine, you know, even though we make no set of money. My gift was seeing them shine on stage, looking professional, singing, confidence. And those were some of my happy moments, seeing that. Seeing so amazing on stage, you know, performing like they big grown people, you know, they hanging in there with the grown band, you know what I'm saying? They pulling their weight on Bobby Jones. I took them to Nashville and they were on the Bobby Jones show, and, you know, looking good. And that is what makes me very happy, you know.
That was big.
Yeah.
The Bobby Jones show, everybody don't get on that either. So my absolute last question, I have to, where can viewers follow you and download your newest single?
Okay. You can follow me at Miss Angel Monét on Instagram at Miss Angel Monét. Also Facebook at Miss Angel Monét. And YouTube, I have a YouTube channel we're building. That's Miss Angel Monét as well. You can go to my website, which is it sounds like iNet Productions, INET Productions Inc.com, but it's spelled, it's pronounced Ine, but it's spelled like iNet, INET. So you can reach me there. Also, if you want to tune into the radio station, you get inspiration 24/7. We got some shows on there. We get ready to do a festival, outdoor festival, July 29th. So you can go to HOI network.com. And I'm so proud to announce that our headliner is Andre Ward. He's a contemporary jazz artist.
Yay!
And, yes. So we're excited about this. And this is going to be a day of more inspiration. We're going to have resources for people in the community, Peace Institute. We'll have daycare providers. If people want to know, well, where can I get my kid in daycare? Well, you can have some people to talk to. You know, we want to have some therapists out there. It's going to be a show of entertainment, different genres, poetry, with spoken word. Of course, we have the jazz. We have the reggae Caribbean hour. I'm going to be doing the children's music with maybe another artist we'll have up there as well. It's from 12 to 6 p.m. July 29th on a Saturday.
Where?
It's going to be at the Almont Park in Mattapan, which is a borough of Boston, Massachusetts. Almont Park. But it'll be on the website. And but that's where you can find me, ineproductionsinc.com, or Instagram is Angel Monét. Please follow me. And I'm trying to think where else. You know, my Twitter account, I got to get better with Twitter.
Nobody likes Twitter. Well, I don't.
LinkedIn, or you can go to LinkedIn too. And that's my good name, Monét Ledbetter-Glaude.
Oh, I think I put that on. I was like, I don't know if I should have put Ledbetter on the interview, but okay.
Yeah, that's okay. It's still me, you know.
It's still you, right? But I'm gonna tell you what, Queen, you got style, you got it all. So you are that it factor. I just want to thank you for joining me on my show, and keep powering forward. You're making such a difference, like in Black culture, just in culture, different cultures in general, where people tune in who need help with their children, and you have those answers. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. You're
welcome. So we will be tuning in, and we're going to download that music tomorrow. Okay.
All right. Yes.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank you, Queen. Right back at you.
Keep your head up and be happy. I'm telling you to